It's been mental. It's been really, really interesting times. I've been feeling so much of this energy, solar energy that has been entering the planet. I've been just looking at the weather, cosmic weather, space weather page, and we've gone through 19 solar weather, solar flares in the last 24 hours. That's incredible. And of course that it's like having a tsunami of photonic energy entering the planet, and of course affecting us in so many different levels, from physical, which most of you, if you've been into space weather and following most of the solar upgrades and updates that have been happening, they really affect us with feelings of constant tiredness and dehydration, headaches, and all sort of physical ailments in a way, flu symptoms, all of this. But what I've been experiencing, and I've been tuning into what's going on at the moment, it's deeper than just the physical upgrades and solar energy and magnetic energy that is coming in. There is a emotional quotient here. There is this strong emotional disturbances coming in for the collective. And as I was tapping in, I was feeling, of course I had to go through it, because I can't talk about things that I don't go through myself. It's just how I operate. I usually really tune into what's going on, and I feel it myself. I go through it myself, and then I start to understand and go deeper, and then ask my higher guidance and the energies that I work with to know exactly what's going on. But if I don't experience it, then I can't really talk about it. What I've experienced specifically 2 days ago was a very deep sense of disconnection, of the world is heavy, of loneliness, of there's no purpose, emptiness. And of course it also triggered my personal triggers, emotional triggers, or non-resolved issues, wounds, or childhood wounds, or relationship wounds. And it was really interesting. I had to go through observing. I understand, I had to understand where all these feelings were coming from, and I could feel them in me as wanting to resist, wanting to let go, wanting to not anxiousness, not being able to do one single activity. It was like, okay, I'm gonna read. No, I can't. Okay, I'm gonna dance. I would not really get into it. Then I start feeling anger, and then I start feeling discomfort, and I was just allowing just the waves of emotions coming in, and they felt sticky. It's like I would feel them, and I wanted to release them, but then as soon as I released them, more would come attached to it. It was like it was growing, and at some point it got really, really challenging, where I could recognize a sense of doom, or a sense of deep just despair, I guess. And eventually I could just kind of like really get into observing what was going on, and then tapping deeper into the tones and the frequency, the energies that were coming through. And what I could access, and what I was shown, was we're entering a corridor the last week before the 30th of April, where we're going to have a solar eclipse. It's the beginning of the solar eclipse seasons, and this year 2022, and it's our first solar eclipse, total solar eclipse. Is going to be being able to see in the northern hemisphere, and it is in alignment with Antares. Antares, you could also see it as a constellation of Taurus, but Antares works with a lot of the deep ancient technologies. It is really connected to time traveling, so it's really connected also to timelines. We are shifting so many timelines at the moment, and the eclipse is going to be on a new moon as well. So, and we're going to have Jupiter and Neptune in conjunction. So it is a really potent time, and the sun is sending all of this, all of this energy actualizations for us to get ready for this portal. And the 30th of April with the eclipse, it's an opportunity where a lot of the old collective timelines that are not being reinforced or strengthened, they're going to all start falling down. They're going to be completely unplugged and disconnected. When this happens, it's like how do I say it? Like a operative system upgrade at timeline level, collectively. So we all hold threads to collective timelines. We have threads that attach us. Our own personal timeline has a thread attached to a collective timeline. So when collective timelines collapse, our personal timelines readjust. They have to readjust. So a lot of us already know that this is happening. Our higher self knows this. Our soul knows this. And so the way we're getting ready with this is already starting to adjust our own individual timelines, adjusting them by letting go of aspects of our current timeline that is not going to make it to the next corridor, which is the 30th of April. So it's like a preempting. It's like knowing that this upgrade is going to happen. So we're going to start releasing what does not serve right now. Particularly emotionally, because emotions are energy in motion. So we hold so much information in an emotion, and we're such emotional beings. Emotions have a potency, a charge that is so strong. That's why the system of control keeps us in emotional fear and chaos and disconnection, because it knows that when we use our emotions, our energy in motion, in alignment with the right tone and the right frequency, we can access really quickly. We can align ourselves with the highest timeline and become very, very powerful. So this is why we need to release a lot of the emotional baggage, guilt, shame, loneliness, feelings of inadequacy, sense that there's no purpose, no point, like all of that needs to be completely move and release before we enter the eclipse season. Because once the eclipse season comes in, all these timelines are going to be, some of them will collapse, a lot of them will disconnect, new ones will be stringed into the collective. And so our personal timelines, like strings, need to be unplugged and replugged. And we are in this unplugging. And that's why I was talking to a friend, and various friends of mine that also work with energy, and they're grid energy, grid workers. They also told me that they felt exactly the same. It was just a really deep, really hard couple of days where they had to navigate a lot of issues. And one of them nailed it when she said to me, it felt like glue, like I couldn't let go of certain stuff because it was sticky. It just kept attaching to, there was such resistance. So it does take a lot of work. It takes mastery to be able to go through deep feelings without getting so deep that you can't get out, without taking it so personal, and with the ability to really learn from that, learn to observe that process, that that intensity, in such intensity. So I do wanna, I needed to come live now. I'm sorry if I've been talking really quickly or really fast, but there is this feeling that I really need to convey this message right now. We are in unprecedented times. 19 solar flares in 24 hours, with 2 of them being class X and class M. It's a huge thing. See it as constant downloads, boom, 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 tsunami after tsunami after tsunami of energetics. The planet is also receiving all this charged energy, so that will increase in activity, volcano activity, tectonic activity, weather. I know there's weather modification as well at the same time. So there's also all these systems of control of the matrix of control taking advantage of this charged energy, where all of us start feeling low, to bring in their programs of more control and more fear and more anxiety and more. So discernment is key at this stage. Be very, very aware of what it is really yours. What do you really need to work and clean and move through your body? What is not yours? What it is of the program that does not belong to you and it's coming in as an interference, so that you can completely push that back. The best way to do this discernment is to really work with your body, work with your breath, bring in your tools, that allow you to support your energy, bring in your own mastery, bring in your own power, call forth the help that you need. This is a moment that we need to be stronger than ever. And yes, it is exhausting. I'm exhausted. But yet, I've been so long on this that it's kind of, it feels endless at times, and that's when the despair comes. It's like going, okay, when is this gonna stop? But I always try to connect to that part of me, that faith that I have in the reason why my soul is here right now on this planet, and the reason why all of us are here at this moment. I connect to that, and I try to bring in the joy in my life again. And there's a lot of happening, a lot of people leaving this planet, exiting this planet in mass. So many people around me have passed. It's almost like it's really hard to go through that, but also it's kind of becoming almost like the norm. And I've known many of us have read a lot of books about this, from Dolores Cannon to Marciniak and Drumbalo, and I'm sure you follow people like Walters, we're all experiencing the same thing, the same feeling of, here we go, something's coming, but I'm so tired. But when it's coming, and we go back and forth, it's full on. But we're here, and we gotta go through this. The skies have been incredibly special these past days as well here in New Zealand. There's a lot of cloud shapes. There's a lot of energetics happening as well. So pay attention to all of that. Rest, breathe, be strong, be ready. Do your work, do your mahi, your magic, and connect with your heart. That's the only way. And do also what brings you joy. I'm about to go to a kirtan camp for the weekend with a couple of friends and my daughter, to chant and to play music, and to be in amongst people that we all want to co-create a high frequency environment. And that's also important, not to let yourself be dragged too much on the floor, on the mud, sometimes you have to feel your feelings, absolutely, but also know when it's time to, okay, take a breather, recharge, and then you can go back into the feeling and back into what you need to move through. So I just wanted to convey that. Thank you everyone who joined so quickly. And for whoever is going to listen to this later on, I appreciate each one of you. And anything, just hit me up, send me a message, anything you need. I'm here for you. Okay?